tonight's Zoom, we are flowing into the future with a 2023 convention committee. Tonight, we are going to be led by Jody Cameron, Walter Hartley, Nettie Hartley, Linda Sanderson, and Paula Turner, who are our incredible leaders in the Northeast Connection. I'm just going to turn this right over to them as they help us prepare for the 157th annual National Convention, which will be held in Niagara Falls, New York this November. So whoever wants to lead it, jump right on in.
Well, Phil, I'll jump right in. As president of the Northeast Regions Connection, we're going to welcome you guys to this chat session tonight and the plans that we have coming up in November. We're really looking forward to welcoming you there in person. But the first thing I want to say to start off is make sure you have your passport. Bring your passport, check it now to see when it expires so you can get it back in time, because you're that close to the Canadian border. It'd be a shame if you weren't able to cross it and take a look at things from the other side. The US side looks very nice, but they always say the Canadian side does look nicer. But you're that close, bring your passport. Come early if you can. I know there's been tours that have gone on the Saturdays and Sundays before national sessions, before the business of the meeting start. So if you can get information on those when it comes out to take any tours of the area, please take advantage of it. We're trying to focus this on, it's all about the destination. For most of us in this region, it is quite a hike to get to, whether it's by cars, planes, trains, automobiles, but it's all about the destination. When you get there, everything is right there in the conference center across the street from the hotel. The hospitality room is right on the lower level of the hotel. It's huge. Plenty of places just to sit, hang out, reminisce, and rekindle some of your Grange friendships that you haven't seen since maybe the National last year or the year before. So welcome to the area, and don't forget your passport.
All right. Well, where do you want to begin? I mean, first of all, we should acknowledge that Paula Turner and Linda Sanderson are the co-convention coordinators for the region. But they've asked Walter and I and Nettie to do the presentation this evening. I don't understand why, because we're almost as shy as they are. So I don't know why they chose us, Walter. But I will be the first one to tell you that I was the largest naysayer about meeting in Niagara because it's so darn far from everything. And having had the opportunity to tour the facility, I will be the first one to tell you it is probably the most perfect facility National Grange has ever used. It has some shortcomings, but as far as accessibility and ease to everything, it's probably one of the best setups that has ever been used in the several years I've been going to National. The convention center is separate from the hotel, but it's really no further than how we had to go from one tower all the way to the other side of the hotel in Reno last year. It's probably even closer.
Yeah, I think it is actually closer.
You know, as long as there's not a cold northeasterly wind, you may not even need a coat to go across the street. But it does sit near the Great Lakes, so I would anticipate going into the convention center at 40 degrees and coming out with 17 feet of snow on the ground. Just be prepared. Just be prepared.
That's what happened last year. As we were when we were in Sparks that same week, Niagara and the Buffalo area were getting slammed with snow. And of course, we're joking from our region, we're used to it. And all I just kept telling people is, make sure you bring extra Mundundis with you.
Paula kept saying, it's the storm of the century. It's the storm of the century. It won't happen again. It's
Not
the
2
storm of the
years
century.
in a row. Not 2 years in a row in November. No way.
Right, I agree. It happened last year. It's not gonna happen this year.
So, but in all seriousness, it is, everything is within walking distance. There's a lot of really great food nearby. National Grange has several prepared meals that if they're half as good as any of the food that we ate in the few restaurants we've eaten in, we're going to be fed extremely, extremely well. The hotel is plenty big enough for room wise. Not there's a couple of restaurants. There's a Starbucks in the lobby. There's a rainforest cafe, so that should attract the families. And the reason why Walter said a destination, not only because it's Niagara Falls, but because there's a lot for families to do if you come with your family. With the Rainforest Cafe, it's within 5-minute walk to the falls. And again, we can't say this enough. Bring your passport, right? Because right there, I mean, no more than 4 blocks is the border over to Canada from the hotel. For those of you who enjoy more adult livelihood, across the street and the other direction of the convention center is a really nice casino. Some really good food over there. The meals we had, the Italian restaurant in that place was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But they're all smaller eating establishments. So, but there's plenty to choose from. Linda, tell them about the Culinary Institute.
So the beginning of the next block from the hotel is the Culinary Institute, and we have saved some seats for lunch and dinner on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. If anybody wants to go down, lunch will be 17 and dinner is
30, did you say?
235, somewhere around there. You get 2 courses at lunch and 3 at dinner. And he's telling us that dinner, if you'd go out and get it, would be over $100 somewhere. So if we can have people sign up ahead of that. They have a little cafe which opens at 8 in the morning. He said he could put up extra tables and things in the lobby, and people could go down there and get a breakfast sandwich or whatever. There's Danish and all kinds of goodies.
So that's a really cool benefit.
And I would definitely say, when we went out there, the time in, I think it was March, Jody and I, it was our first time going out there, but I will say, and kudos to both Paula and Linda, I want to say it was like their 4th or 5th time out there, just to check the area out. And we usually do that wherever our conferences are going to be. We want to make sure that, we can see what's either in walking distance or close by for food, because not everybody wants to go to the banquets, or they might not fit into their schedule, but they're looking for something quick to eat. So they've been doing a great job with going there on their own, actually, and just kind of checking things out and scoping out the neighborhood. So again, kudos to Linda and Paula for doing that. We've got an exceptional full team this year, as we usually do in our region, of each state coordinator doing their own thing, getting the hospitality center schedule down packed, and seeing just what we can do.
What's the really cool thing about the hospitality suite?
Yes, this year we are allowed to, instead of all the prepackaged individual foods and snackies that we've been doing over the last couple of years, and mostly since COVID hit, and some of the restaurant restrictions, I will admit to that. At this place here in Niagara, they have allowed us to bring in some homemade baked goods, snacky stuff, and things like that. So, as most of us out here in the Northeast region, we like to meet, we like to eat, and we like to decide to meet again. So that was very exciting for, our group to know that, we can still bring some snacky stuff and some homemade items that can come in. We're not going to do the full meals like we used to do in the day, because we just don't have the capacity to do that, nor with restrictions still out there with restaurants are we allowed to. But again, we do have a little bit of loosening up a little bit with the homemade items. So that's kind of nice. And again, the hospitality center, wait till you folks see it. It's pretty big. It has one section when you first walk in to the left, that's on like a one step up, big platform type. We're going to have lots of couches up there. We're looking to, really utilize the space, because that's really the only thing that's going on in the hotel, as far as the conference goes, because everything else is across the street. So anybody that wants an in-between thing, and with it being right on the main level, you don't have to go hunting for a room. You don't have to get off the elevator, bang a right, and take a mile down the hallway. You get out of the elevator and you take you walk a little bit, take a sharp left, and boom, there you are. It was really, really, and it overlooks the pool area. So bring your bathing suits as well, and let the grandkids and kids know they'll be swimming there. But yeah, I think you're going to be really impressed and excited over the size of the hospitality room. We will be using it like after hours, I've been told, for some different, I don't want to say shenanigans with Phil and his crew, but probably some sort of shenanigans with Phil and his crew, because we do have a hard cutoff time that we just found out about at the convention center. So that we have to keep in mind when anybody's meeting with their committees or just hanging around socializing in there. When I say a hard cutoff time, it's a hard cutoff time, because if you're beyond that time, National Grange is going to get billed to the tune of, like $300 an hour. So we're going to,
Or you may get locked in the center.
or you could get locked. You're right. So if you do get locked in there, I hope you grab some snacks from the hospitality room, because it's going to be a long night. But again, everything is right there. When Jody was talking about the casino, you can take the tunnel. There's like a little walk-in tunnel that goes underneath part of the street area. Then there's an escalator that takes you up to the back door, and you're under this huge carport for, not that long of a walk. It's a very short distance. That portion of it is outside. However, once you get over there, you're going to be shocked. I mean, the casino, I'm not a gambler, but the casino was huge. There was all sorts of, all sorts of games and chances to, for me to lose my money. And again, there's restaurants over there for, lunch breaks or anything like that, if anybody wants to go, or just to get away from it and just go over there and sit and eat. There's some stores for shopping, gift shops and whatnot. But I will have to tell you, I don't know if it was just the season that we were in when we were there. Their sizes on their shirts weren't up to my snuff. I'm a 2X kind of guy, and I don't think they went over a large. So
Belly shirts for you.
Yeah. But again, like we're telling everybody here, I've written about it in my quarterly Grange Beacon, and I've asked the other state masters in the region to do the same. It's all about the destination, just like it is with any of our national sessions. But when you come up to the Northeast region, you kind of, unless you go smack dab in the middle, like we were in New Hampshire, or even when we were in Connecticut, you're either at one end of the region or the other. So it's about the destination. You're going to have a great time. And Paula, do you want to touch base on some of the tours that we have going on?
Sure. So we have the youth tour, the junior tour, and the general tour. All of the tours will go to the Niagara Falls observation deck. That's a do not miss stop. And the youth and the juniors will do the Cave of the Winds winter edition, which winter edition means it's a little shorter, but you will not get wet like you do in the summertime. So, and then in addition, for the juniors and the youth, they'll go to the Cave of the Winds and the Niagara Power Project Power Vista. Now, Niagara Power Vista. This is like 50 interactive exhibits where they can, and the adults would enjoy it as well. It features more than 50 interactive exhibits about hydroelectricity and an observation deck 350 feet above the Niagara River Gorge. And there's a really cool interactive thing between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. And there's also a state-of-the-art 4D theater where you'll feel the transformation from water to hydroelectricity as you fall through the clouds and race through penstocks and zip through the transmission lines across New York. So that's really cool. And that's also where you're going to get your lunch that we will provide. And the general tour is going to Old Fort Niagara, which is right, you look across the river and you see Canada, but it's a really cool fort. And we will have a guided tour there. And we will also have a tour guide at the Cave of the Winds.
It's in, so the Old Fort Niagara is in Canada?
No, it's in the United States, but you look from the fort across the river and you see Canada.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Because the French or the Canadians used that fort way back. It's been there like 300 years.
Cool.
And then also for the transportation from the airport, it is quite a ways, but we will be providing transportation from around noon or 1 o'clock on Sunday until 3 o'clock the following Sunday. So if you're coming, we should be able to transport you. If you decide to come into the Niagara airport, we would also pick you up there. And there is a train station a few blocks from the hotel. We would also try to pick you up there if we can. For people coming in before noon on Sunday, there is metro buses, Ubers, taxis, but it is about 20 miles. So think about that when you're booking your flights.
And the main flights come into Buffalo, correct? Is that the best?
You're probably going to get cheaper tickets if you come into Buffalo, I would think.
I just want to make sure everybody knows which airport.
Yeah, but I mean, so National told us we only had to transport from the Buffalo airport, but our team decided that we would transport from both airports if at all possible.
So we had walked to the falls when we were there in the evening, and I have never seen the falls. I've yet to see the falls in daylight, because when we went in daylight, it was pouring, and there was 9 of us that were trying to squeeze into a 7-passenger van. And I'm not exactly the most petite of fellas, so I didn't think it was going to be a good idea to jam my 10 pounds in the 5-pound bag. So I didn't get to see the falls in the daytime, but I'll tell you what, there is few things more breathtaking than those falls being lit up in the evening. It was breathtaking. We can't say it enough. Bring your passport. This is a destination convention. There is so much to do with the convention and in conjunction to the convention. I could see people adding days to either side of their trip to enjoy the area.
Another thing at the falls, there's a visitor center that they have been working on to redo or rebuild a new one, and it opens this month. So I'm going to check that out probably in June. So I'll know more about the new visitor center at the falls.
Food, my life revolves around food. I sit at my dinner table planning my next meal while I'm eating my meal. So there's a lot of places to eat, a lot of variety. There's a great burger joint in the casino. Like I said, the Italian restaurant was phenomenal. On the street that runs between the hotel and the convention center, there's not only the Culinary Institute, there was a little taco joint, if I remember correctly. little diner or dinette. Excuse me, a block over from that street was a Rainforest Cafe. There's a Starbucks in the hotel. No, a block over was a Hard Rock Cafe, excuse me. Rainforest Cafe is in the hotel. There's a buffet in the casino. There's Three Sisters, was it Three Sisters Restaurant? They do a breakfast buffet. There's plenty to eat. It's a little bit of a walk to everything to eat. And again, we don't want to overshadow, the prepared meals that National is putting on, with the legislative lunch and the agricultural lunch. Obviously everyone is encouraged and anticipated to be seen at the banquet, at the celebration banquet on Saturday night. But there's plenty going on at all times, and we need to encourage everybody to consider this a destination convention. And I gotta be honest with you again. I never thought I'd be saying this, because I've been the biggest proponent saying, why are we going that darn far? We never go that far in this region. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to go. I honestly can't wait to go.
Yeah, it was definitely when Jody and I traveled out there together. It was definitely it's a fun ride. It is a little. It was like 7 hours from where I picked him up in Connecticut, and I'm only like 20 minutes from him in Rhode Island. So it wasn't bad. You make the fun out of it, but again, it's when you get there, you park the car and you're done with the car, because everything that you're going to need to do is in walking distance. If it's not in the hotel, it's could be a short walk or a little jaunt across the street to the casinos, or in the convention center right next door, across the street rather. I think we have a great selection of food availability, both within and external, and I think everybody's going to have a great time with it.
Someone was
Not
on.
only is it a great destination, but the host committee has been planning very hard for everybody to come up. We have lots of good ideas for the year with our delegates, the juniors, the youth, with everybody. So we're very excited for that. We are trying new ideas. We're open to more new ideas, but we have been working very hard to try to do things new, little things around. But
Nettie, what is the region doing for our community service?
so this year, the host committee has decided to collect socks, hats, and mittens. We will bring all the states in the region, will bring them to National, where we'll then do a big display of them, and then we'll split them up and then divide them throughout the shelters. A lot of them in New York with veterans shelters, homeless shelters, different shelters in the states. And so it's a great idea for the crafters, which is what, as me in Rhode Island, we have a lot of crafters. So I'm really trying to pump it out for the hats and mittens, because they can be homemade. So hat, mittens, and socks, all men's, women's, kids, and all sizes.
At the beginning of the youth tour, we are delivering these items to the community missions of the Niagara Frontier, and we'll be doing photo ops and stuff with the youth delivering there. And that's also where the Youth Community Service Project is going to take place, in their soup kitchen, their food pantry, and their clothes closet.
Pack socks and gloves and hats. You'll take cash, money, checks.
Certainly.
Checks are to be made out to the Northeast Connection, correct?
Correct.
And then there'll be one check given.
Mhm.
So let's see, Betsy, do you want to talk about any of the speakers we have that are lined up currently?
Yeah,
for-
I was just thinking about that. Those of you from the West or far away from New York, if you have not been to Niagara Falls, if you have not seen the falls, you'd have to see them. They're just amazing. the amount of water that goes over there every second is just fabulous. And the nighttime with the colored lights, it is really beautiful. So just another plug for the falls. In addition to that and all the good food and the interesting session, we do have some speakers lined up already. Of course, we have Jeff Winton coming again with Rural Minds. That'll be a highlight of Thursday afternoon. Talking about rural mental health and suicide prevention. So that alone is worth the trip. For the Ag Luncheon on Wednesday, we have the Lamb family who has a farm very close to Niagara. They are the national winners of Conservation Environmental Stewardship Award from the Cattlemen's Association. So it'll be interesting to hear about their farming practices in upstate New York. The youth department has a speaker coming from Niagara University. So that's going to be about leadership. Can't remember the exact title, but it's a leadership workshop on Saturday morning for youth and I guess anybody else that wants to go. We have a couple other speakers invited for the Wednesday, the Commissioner of Agriculture in New York is invited. We haven't got a response from him yet, but he's an interesting speaker. I've heard him at New York's state session before. And Tuesday, we've invited the local state representative who came highly recommended. Haven't got a confirmation from him yet either. But we're still working on the general workshops. So keep watching the patrons chain and Facebook, and all the notices throughout the summer will be announcing more speakers and more workshops that will be presented. So you really need to come.
And Betsy, to tag on to the Jeff Winton workshop on Saturday morning, we're offering that QPR training, the question, persuade, respond training for anybody who's dealing with people in a mental crisis. So that's a really cool way that you can kind of walk through that process and get trained yourself to help those who are experiencing any sort of mental crisis at the time.
Phil, if I can piggyback on that.
Absolutely.
I was talking to Chuck Strand today, and the plan now is to work with Rural Minds and New York FarmNet. And I believe they're going to do work on the training. We're going to do a mental health first aid, and then go into the QPR training on Saturday morning. Trying to work out some prices and then see if I can find a sponsor, if there is any cost. We're not sure about that, but when you see it come out, if you're interested in the QPR training, interested in the mental health first aid, if there's a sign up, make sure you sign up early. It's probably going to be a limited number with that. So I'm excited about that. As Betsy said, and as Phil both said, we're going to be pumping information out on that level. And as soon as you see it, if you're interested, sign up for it.
I took a QPR training just last week, not through Rural Minds, but my county health department offered it for free on Zoom, and it's really worthwhile. It tells you how to recognize signs of someone who's thinking about suicide, what to say to them, ask them the question, what not to say, and it's really something that we should all be prepared, because you never know if somebody that you're close to or somebody that you know is thinking in that direction. So you need to be prepared to save a life. So I do recommend that QPR training. And we'll offer it at a convention.
So I do want to point out that registration did open last week, and there are some people already trickling in. I did drop the link in the chat. Grange.biz/convention157 with a capital C in convention will get you there. Grange.biz is our new bit.ly. So instead of bit.ly, we now use Grange.biz because it just to confuse Betsy, really. But the early bird registration price is just $32, and that runs through September 4th, at which point it goes up to $37, and then it goes up again one more time for late registrants. So make sure you get in now. The correct hotel link I did drop in the chat earlier. So that is the correct hotel, or there is a pass that I'll put in here in just a little bit that will get you signed in directly with our National Grange group codes. So you don't need to worry about having to find anything special. And there are 4 separate registration links. There's the general registration, which is for anybody aged really 35 and up. There's the youth registration for anybody 14 to 35, the junior registration for anyone 5 to 14, and then there's the delegate and officer registration if you're a delegate or officer. That one should be self-explanatory. So anybody else have anything you want to jump in on?
And Jody, there is plenty of parking around the hotel, correct?
Yes, there's a parking garage, a good sized parking garage right there, a big parking lot right on side of the hotel, plenty of parking.
And you also get your, you stamp your card, your parking ticket when you get there at the front desk. You hold on to it, you slip it in the slot when it's time to leave. They know that we're there for the convention, so it's really cool. It's part of the hotel package, I assume, but you know, it seems that it's a secure area.
Free parking.
Yeah. So
Free parking for people that are in the hotel.
Yep. So if anybody hasn't asked any questions here tonight that comes up with any, obviously you reach out to anybody in the national staff, but you know, you can hit up any of us from this region, whether it's on Facebook or email, and we'll get an answer out to you as soon as we can, or to find out what you're looking for. But again, I think we're all gonna have a great time. It's that destination. I can't say it enough. It's great. It's a great location. It really is.
One more thing I need to say. I see Debbie Plouffe is on from Vermont. Debbie is the wonderful, wonderful lady who's going to receive your registrations and keep track of all that data. So she may be reaching out to you if you made a mistake on your registration, or if she has a question about what you put in there. You may be hearing from Debbie. Hopefully you won't. But we really appreciate her volunteering to take care of that for us.
Paula or Jody, can you tell us a little about the joke and trivia contest?
Well, so we started something in Vermont, and where we had a joker that we posted jokes around the hotel, and then we sent a joke onto the floor every day. Appropriate jokes, you know, good humor. Like, Linda, did you know that my favorite color is yellow? Yeah, I like it better than blue. Oh, I screwed it up. My favorite color is green. I like it better than blue and yellow combined. So screwed it up. But we're also going to have trivia questions. And we haven't decided if we're going to do them on a daily basis or have you answer them for the week. But we're going to have little prizes for people who answer the trivia question correct. And that trivia question could be on almost anything, be it Grange or Niagara or one of the officers. So we haven't come up with the questions yet, but you know, we're just gonna have fun. There's gonna be a lot of laughter.
Are the prizes going to be an ice scraper and a can of de-icer?
Yep, and snowshoes. So
That's getting a little too healthy.
I did hear Betsy say that if we get snowed in, we're just gonna stay at the hotel and keep partying. So,
I can't think of any group of people I'd rather be stuck in a hotel with.
That's because you've never been stuck in a hotel with us, Pete. So
That's why. It's the unknown.
that's right. So, but no, come prepared to have a good time. You know, you're going to get out of it what you want to get out of it, and it is the perfect location to stay a day or two and enjoy the session, learn about the Grange more, and just see some beautiful country, or countries actually. So
start registering for your passport, well, tomorrow at this point, but you don't want to wait too long on that. Some people are taking up to 6 months to get processed, and well, we're at that point already. So
There are 5 states that you can get an enhanced license that will get you into Canada. There's New York, Vermont, I think Michigan, and I'm not sure what the other 2 are. Ones that are
Washington.
close to the border is why they have them. So if you live in those states, that's all you need for like $35 extra when you get your license, or you can go add it on.
okay, well, if there's no other questions, like Walter said before, he just texted me and said he got disconnected. Please reach out to either one of your National Grange staff members or somebody on the Northeast Connection host committee. We will certainly, if we don't know the answer, we'll either make it up or we'll find the correct answer for you. So please feel free to reach out to any of us and get involved. I'm looking forward to seeing you all at the Falls this November. And thank you all for joining us here tonight.
What is the name of the hotel, the correct one?
Sheridan at the
Yes,
Falls.
we're Sheraton at the Falls. Sorry, Sheraton on the Falls is the one across the river. River Falls. It's across the falls. So Sheraton at the Falls. It's on 3rd Street in Niagara Falls, New York. And then the convention center is the Niagara Convention Center, which is right across 3rd Street and very convenient.
it's a beautiful new building.
It looks it. You can take a virtual tour of both the hotel and the convention center. So if you're looking to get acquainted with anything before you get there, feel free to go play around.
Well, ironically, the casino was given to the Seneca Indian tribe, and that was the convention center. So the city of Niagara built them a brand new convention center. So that's what the guy told us, at least when we toured the convention center. So he might have made that up, which now makes me a liar. So
They probably have a great time duping the tourists.
yeah, right.
So driving in, you'll probably be going downriver, most of them. And the biggest building will be the casino. It's grayish, but it has all these colored, almost like pine trees on it. You'll be able to see that first. And then right across from that is the hotel.
Well, thank you all for being here tonight. Again, grange.biz/convention157 with a capital C will get you to our registration page and landing page on the national site. And we look forward to seeing you all in November. Thanks, y'all.
Take care.